Hello, hello, hello. I hope you are having an awesome, awesome, awesome day. I wanted to say good morning, good morning, good morning. Today, I am diving in, sharing my entire story and exactly what I did with over a decade in education. So, as most of you guys know, I have quit, as you see in the heading, I have quit the formal, public school setting and I have started something new. So, today I want to go and dive into exactly what I'm doing with all of my expertise in education. So before we do that, I definitely want you to let me know if any of these sound familiar to you. Who goodness. It is not letting me. This is so weird. Oh, I don't maybe get on Zoom. Oh no, I am trying to definitely trying to there we go. All right, so I want you to let me know if any of these sound familiar. Let me know in the chat. Are y'all able to see? It's like really weird. All right, we're just gonna do it like this. All right, does any of these sound familiar? Let me know yes in the chat box. Do you have a child that needs your help academically? Are you constantly feeling confused? You frequently find yourself feeling stuck because you just don't know where to start. I've talked about, I've had over a decade in education, but we all had to start somewhere. So are you feeling stuck and you just don't know where to start? When teaching, when you're in the middle of teaching, do you feel like you're just doing it wrong? Are you overwhelmed and you just want teaching to be simple? Do you spend hours per week? Where are all my people that spend hours and hours and hours of time literally doing lesson plans, looking up lessons that really, let's be honest, never truly fit your needs? Let me know in the chat box if any of these sound familiar. If that is you, let me know. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Well, I want to share a few facts with you. Okay. Did you know when it comes to teaching that 60% of kids are not considered ready to start kindergarten? And what that means are that 60% of kids, that's majority, they're not mentally ready to comprehend any new skills that they are going to learn when they're in kindergarten. And another 2 out of every 10 children enter kindergarten with skills 2 to 3 years lower than grade level. That means they're starting off kindergarten at either 2 or 3 years old mental capacity. And another 2 out of 10 children start school with at least a 1 year disadvantage. And unfortunately, students and children that are behind typically only make 1 year's worth of progress at each grade level. That literally means that they're always going to be behind the curve. And they're also more likely to repeat certain grades. So, you guys, let's talk about that. You might be like, okay, at some point this will go away. At some point they'll catch up. But I'm here to tell you that that's not true. These same students, your children, your child, they're reading below grade level. And what ends up happening is it runs into becoming illiterate, meaning that child or your child cannot read. And this is one of the major factors in when it comes to high school dropouts. They drop out of high school. And unfortunately, kids that start off kindergarten behind, just like I already shared, they end up dropping out of school. Y'all, that's crazy. Crazy. Um, and you might be like, help, anybody, help me. Well, now we are on to my story. These facts, I share this data simply because it amazes me every time I hear it. Like anytime you really dig into what's going on in education, it just wows me how many kids are out there. They're starting off behind, and how simple it really is to close the learning gap. But so many people have no idea how to do it. I have been that person. I have literally been the person both on a teacher level and on a parent level, and this was me. This was literally me. This was me as a teacher. I was overworked, overwhelmed, staying late to school because I wanted to help close the learning gap. I did not want my children to be like the statistics I already shared. I didn't want them being so behind where they weren't really going to make it, didn't really have a promising future. I've also been that mom that was told my daughter was behind. And it was that moment that I was like, I have to find a way to implement what I learned in the classroom and apply it to my life. And I went through a course of time as a teacher. Want to share my story. What ended up happening is I was teaching fifth grade. I actually went from teaching preschool to fifth grade, like literally overnight. I was teaching pre-K for a few years, and I didn't want to get into a major school district. And I got a phone call on Saturday night. She was like, "Hey, so sorry. Ran into somebody at this game. They want a fifth grade teacher. I gave her your name. She wants to interview on Tuesday." Mind you, it's Saturday. I was like, "Okay, cool. All right, God. I see you working. What the heck? Go on the interview." Mind you, I'm teaching pre-K. Love my job. Love my students. Love the environment. Um, it just wasn't my dream as far as pay. Very limited. And so then I went in for the interview. She called me on Friday. She was like, I mind you, I'm thinking because she told me there was a second grade opening. Thinking I'm going from pre-K to second grade. And I go to the interview. She calls me on Friday, says, "Hey, look, I want to create a whole new position for you. I want you to do fifth grade advance. We're going to create an entire new classroom just for you." So it was crazy, 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 crazy. And then that next year, literally, I went from, because she saw how great I was with teaching reading, I then ended up teaching EIP, which are pretty much early intervention, which are children that are behind grade level, basically, just like we were sharing with the statistics. And I started teaching them. And that year I said, I'm going to close these gaps. I did not like seeing so many kids in fifth grade about to go to middle school reading on a kindergarten, first grade level. It just did not work for my soul. Like, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I was like, what do I have to do? And that's when I started creating teaching systems and working smarter, not harder. Y'all know I love me a good game. So I started implementing learning games. And that's why I teach you guys that on this channel all the time, all the time. But I started implementing learning games, and I was like, I have to close some of these gaps. And that's when I really, put all my expertise, because I had my master's degree at this time. But a lot of the learning gaps I realized were with the basic skills like multiplying, addition, adding, subtracting, just knowing those basic skills. Well, all of that is repetition. When it came to reading, I realized that the kids that didn't know how to read, that were years behind grade level, like Elijah, I'm teaching fifth grade. A lot of my students were reading on a kindergarten, first grade level. And those students that didn't know how to read didn't know how their sounds. It was the basic stuff that they were stuck at. And that goes literally to show, like, I was able to see the gap, like, massively. Started implementing learning games in a very systematic way. The more I understood what they needed to learn and how to teach it to them, the gap started to form by the end of the year. When I tell y'all, I was praying for these babies through the whole year. Every single one of them passed the state test. Every single one of them. Every single one of the babies that were literally years behind grade level had odds against them. I'll say it like that. Odds against them. All passed it, flying colors. Their confidence out the roof. They loved learning. It was such an amazing experience. Just teaching them and showing them, how learning can be fun and closing in those gaps. And it was through them, through teaching those kids, that I started creating the same framework I'm going to share with you today. I realized that teaching, you can close learning gaps through fun teaching. Like, teaching can be fun. Once you get kids wanting to learn, you'll start to see a momentum that words just can't describe. You'll see kids wanting to learn, wanting to skyrocket. And so I learned that in the classroom, then continued to implement it throughout my years in the classroom and even as an administrator. But then I became a mom. And when my daughter's teacher said she was struggling, I was like, oh my gosh, well, I'm at work all the time. What can I do with her? Well, I had to start implementing what I learned in the classroom and what I learned in school at home. And so then I started to see momentum in not only my children, but also my daughter at home. So I have the personal experience running a classroom that was systematic with engaging, saving lessons. I was able to whip out lessons that kids loved and actually really honed into their basic skills. I shared my story about my EIP students, but not only that, I was able to create a homeschooling system for my toddler, and I only had to teach her 60 minutes a week. That's it. I teach a lot of my clients that all you need, if you're a working mom or a working dad, are 3 days of 20 minutes. 20 minutes, that's not even a TV show. Literally, less time than a TV show. That's all you need. And I was able to, now I teach others to do the exact same thing. So that is literally how I put my experience in the classroom and put it into the teaching system. So now what I have done is I have packaged up over a decade of education. Everything that I've learned, everything that I see so many parents and teachers struggling with. Even as an administrator, I was an administrator for 5 years. I listened to so many teachers being so overwhelmed, and I heard their stories and was like, there is a simpler way, y'all. There's a simple way you can implement all these things. And then I started listening to parents. And it was really then that I realized the big gap between being a teacher and being a parent. And at this time, I wasn't even a parent yet, but I saw this huge gap between teachers blaming parents, and they felt like, they're not helping their kid, blah, blah, blah. And then I would have so many parents come to me and say, I want to help. I just don't know how. So I started telling parents all these simple things they can do. And they were like, thanks. We never heard this. And I realized the huge gap between, it's not that parents don't want to do what's best for their kid. They just don't know how. They don't have somebody to help walk them through this process. So you're here today because maybe you just want a simple step-by-step system because you just don't know where to start. You want to help your child. You want to help your children. You want to be the best you can be for them, but you just don't know how. And that's okay. You can let me know in the chat box. I just don't know how. I don't know where to start. You may feel overwhelmed. You dread doing lesson plans. You know that it takes planning in order to make a difference, but you dread it. You dread all the thinking. You dread putting all the pieces together, and you know that there must be an easier way. Or maybe you're tired of throwing money away on lessons that just really don't align, and you're ready to just make a change. You're ready to start off a new leaf, make a change. When you want guidance on accountability in order to know what to teach, when to teach, how to teach, so that you can make a difference. Because let's be real, you can't make a difference if you don't know those things. If you don't know what you're actually needing to teach, you can't teach. If you don't know when to teach, then you won't be able to manage your time. And if you don't know how to teach, then you're just wasting your time, right? Well, nothing I've shared with you are theories. These are all things that I have done and I've also helped my clients do in order to achieve these great learning environments and teaching systems. So I'm here to tell you that if I can do it, if I have clients with zero teaching experience do it, then you can do it too. Trust me, you can do it too. Well, today's the day. Today's the day you do something about it. So you really have two choices. You can continue doing what you're doing, or you can implement fast track results by implementing what I call the R framework. And that is creating an easy, systematic plug and play system designed to help you develop engaging standards based lessons in little to no time in order for you to simplify teaching and get started. So I want to introduce you to what I have been cooking up. Didn't realize I was cooking up these last 10 years. But imagine having a bank of interactive lessons that encourage children to be engaged. Imagine having weekly lesson plan system that will literally save you hours and hours of planning. Imagine having schedules, routines, transitions, allowing you to be stress free. And imagine having simplicity and clarity on what to teach, when to teach, and how to teach. And imagine being supported along the journey. So I want to share with you today, my baby. This is teaching by design. I told you I was packing up all decades worth of all my education. I have literally 3 degrees. Okay. So I have my specialist degree all in early childhood education. So I'm packing up all my knowledge, all of my years of experience, all of my expertise, and everything that I have helped so many parents and teachers with. I'm packing it all up into one signature program called Teaching by Design. Teaching by Design is the only self study course that helps parents and teachers develop simple teaching systems. And when I say teaching systems, I mean like organizing classroom management, organizing management within your homeschooling, organizing schedules, organizing routines, organizing transitions, all that good stuff, right? And instructional practices. When I say instructional practices, I mean all those good stuff like reading, math, create, and so that you can create engaging standard based lessons in little to no time. So, Teaching by Design is the only program that gives you step by step guidance on creating an effective teaching environment, guides you on what to teach, when to teach, and how to teach, and provides you with all the plug and play templates, fill in the blank scripts that you'll ever need in order to make creating lessons simple and fun. Y'all, I was crazy because I was talking to one of my new clients in Teaching by Design just last night, and she was like, I have no idea. I had no idea that all of this was included. And I was like, yes, girl, yes. But even when it comes to assessing children, understanding what they know, what they don't know in the middle of a lesson, you'll have all the scripts to that are all included in Teaching by Design. So, Teaching by Design is a true transformation. Before Teaching by Design, you may feel frequently frustrated, you'll get stuck, you procrastinate or not even get started. You have too many resources to keep track of. You feel like there's never enough time. You're so overwhelmed. Your goals aren't being met. But after Teaching by Design, you're constantly teaching every single week because you have a schedule that works. You're stress free. You have a teach life balance. You'll know exactly what to teach every single day, and you'll have the freedom of being prepared. And most importantly, your child's goals are going to be met. I have seen the transformation. It not only transforms you, but it also transforms your children. Well, Teaching by Design is a 6 module course. Plus, you can also get consulting with it. So I'm just going to go over the modules just a little bit, but it's a 6 module course. You have unblocking major roadblocks. Within that course, in that module, I teach you all about how to actually implement a teaching system. When I say teaching system, I mean your schedules, your transitions, your management tools. Then we go through revealing the secret to automaticity. So this is when I start to teach you how you can make just reading run on autopilot. Then in module 3, we get into backwards design teaching. And that's where you know what to teach, when to teach, and how to teach. And in module 4, we go over developing lessons with confidence. This is when we put all the pieces together, allowing you to make lessons challenging for children. You'll understand rigor, which is pretty much the complexity of a lesson and complexity of your task and activity. And you'll also be given all the activities that you even need to do that. So when I say plug and play, I mean plug and play, literally. Then module 5 is all about planning for independence, getting children to actually love learning themselves, and then developing ongoing engagement. How do you keep children motivated, and how do you keep yourself motivated so that you can plan lessons with ease? Also included in Teaching by Design, not only do you have access to all the modules, but you also have interactive read aloud training. This is not just a typical reading lesson, but is truly how to get children physically and verbally engaged in reading. And then also have a peer-to-peer Facebook group where you can talk to like-minded peers in the program. Also included, you have a 5-hour professional development certificate just congratulating you once you have finished the program. In addition, you get this 20 done for you templates and 5 worksheets. So, what is included? Everything you need to make this transition possible. So, in order to be transformed, in order to transform your home or classroom, I'm giving you everything you need. I'm giving you the lesson plans, the schedules, the choice boards, the standards. I even break down the standards for you. I teach you how to do it, and then I give it to you. You also have advancing and assessing reading questions, and advancing and assessing math. You'll have before reading, during reading, after reading questions. Everything you literally need to fill in the blank with a lesson plan and to just teach, so that you're not starting from scratch. So you literally will have a plug and play system that you can literally continue to implement. In addition, throwing in some bonuses. So I just talked about the scripted questions. So this is what I mean by plug and play. I'm giving you the questions. You're literally in the middle of teaching. You look at the script, you say the question. Applies to any lesson. Also get 75 ready-made activities. If you think you love my YouTube content with the free games, then you'll definitely love this bonus. So over 75 ready-made activities, meaning in the program, one of the things that I teach you in Teaching by Design is to how to take a standard, align a lesson, and then find one of these plug and play activities and literally plug in the standard or skill that you're working on. And literally, children automatically fall in love with learning. These really help. These are the key to really helping closing the gap. I talked about earlier how I closed the gap with literally 20 kids in one school year. I did the impossible. I showed you the odds. The odds are that children can only make 1 year's worth of growth at a time. I literally had over 20 kids grow 4 years in 1 year. The impossible. And I did that through implementing interactive learning games in a very systematic way. So you don't have to create games. I'm giving you the games and giving you the material. And this is how I close the gap in my classroom. This is how I close the gap with so many children that were so far behind. I implemented these very effective plug and play games that catered to the skills that they were lacking. So you get those. And also for it's not even, the next slide's not even going. Why not? What's going on? There we go. Also, for a limited amount of time, I am also throwing in three monthly Q&A calls. So not only do you get the course, you also get access to me to be able to answer any of your questions live. Will be on Zoom. So I'm only doing this for this launch only. So that's only really available through now and next week. However, all right, now I'm in the middle of early bird. Early bird expires tomorrow. Early bird pricing does expire tomorrow, but I'm still offering the 3 month Q&A calls through the end of next week. So not only do you get to go through the course, but you'll also have group access to me on our monthly live Q&A calls, and you'll have editable fill in the blank lesson plans. So you do not have to start from scratch. I give you a lesson plan template. We walk through the program. I literally walk your hand through this entire thing. I give you lesson plan examples, and all you literally have to do is fill in the blank to whatever it is that you're teaching. So, quick recap. In Teaching by Design, you get instant and lifetime access to the incomplete course with all the bonuses I described. You get complete interactive read aloud trainings. You get access to the Facebook group, professional development certificate, and all of the done for you templates and worksheets. If you have any questions, also let me know in the chat box. But I want to keep the party going. So many of my clients love the personal experience of working with me. So if you upgrade, not only will you get the course, but you'll also get one-on-one consulting. So you have a curriculum specialist literally hold you through the entire process. So what I'll do is you get all the course, you get the bonuses, you'll have every single thing that I've already described to you today. You'll have access to all of that. And in addition, you'll also get lesson plan feedback if you pay in full. So that just means I literally will go through an entire week's worth of lessons and give you complete rundown feedback of um everything you need within that week. Also, the priceless thing that all of my clients love is the 24/7 access to me via Voxer. So Voxer is an app. So this app I have on my phone, and literally I have clients that just send voice messages. They'll send voice messages, let me know. I'll send them back on. They'll let me know some of their wins. I don't want to share all her information, but this is one of my clients, and we literally just message back and forth. I'll send voice messages, links, whatever it is that you're working on. I will find you resources. If it's something you're struggling with, if it's a win, I'm your cheerleader. So you guys know how you like to call your parents, call your friends, and they offer accountability. You pour into them, they pour into you. Well, I am that person for you through this journey. So not only will you experience this massive transformation, but you'll have me to walk you through the process. And in addition to that, we will get to chat one-on-one. You'll have 8 one-on-one consulting calls. And within those calls, I will literally walk you through the entire process. Like, have you ever spoon fed somebody? This is the spoon feeding version. So within those calls, we start off by just setting your goals. It's called the our kickoff call, setting your goals kickoff call. Then I will literally create your perfect customized ideal teaching schedule. You'll tell me what you need. I will create your schedule for you on the call. So you'll leave that call with a customized schedule. We'll also create a bank of read aloud lessons that cater to the books you already have. So you don't have to go out there and buy new books. Usually use the books you already have. I love doing this with clients because they see how easy it is to use the resources that they already have. We'll go over how to create engaging lesson plans that actually fit the needs of you and your child or you and your children. And then we'll add differentiation. When I say that, I mean like how to actually cater to children's needs. How do you cater to their learning styles? We go over learning styles, and now we go over what kind of activities fit best with those learning styles. So I literally go through creating lesson plans with you. So really, I'm kind of doing it for you. Like I said, it's the spoon feed version. Then we go over how to create customized independent activities. I will literally help you create your very own choice board that fits the needs for your child or your children. We go over other things that will fit for your children to do by themselves. That way, you can be the guide while they lead their own lessons and they lead their own material. And then, in addition to that, we'll go over how to create incentives, both free and paid, whatever you want, and how to create your own planning schedule to keep the ball rolling going forward. So you literally will have everything done for you when you do the one-on-one consulting. And in addition to that, we also will have a follow-up call where we will adjust all of this good stuff to fit your needs. So all of that. So these are just some of the things that some of my clients I've worked with said that have worked with me. They said that I inspired them, positive attitude. If you think I have a positive attitude here on YouTube, imagine working with me one on one. I love, 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 love working with you guys one on one. I like I said, I was just on one of my new clients last night, and that was our first one on one call. She had never talked to me one on one, and she was just like, "This is just so amazing. You are the same way, with just working with me." And I've heard that from a lot of you guys. So at this point, I'm taking ownership of it. I'm not running away from it anymore. And I've learned that that is just a gift that God has given me. Another thing the client said is I'm professional, always prepared and organized, extremely passionate for education, open and honest. Just those are just some of the things that people have said. So want to do a little recap, and then I want to share a few of my wonder clients. I like to have like client testimonials. One thing you'll realize about me, I love celebrating people. I love celebrating people. I love celebrating life. Really, life is too short to be, by humbug all the time. But I want to share with some of my client wins. So let's just do a recap really quick. So in Teaching by Design, if you do the one-on-one consulting and Teaching by Design, you get the entire course and all the bonuses, all the plug and play lessons, all those 75 plus plug and play activities, the fill in the blank lesson plans, the activities, the monthly calls. You get all of that. You will also get 8 one-on-one consulting calls with me. And all my clients know I like to overgive, I like to overpour. That's just me, that's just my personality. You also get 24/7 access to me via Voxer. We will be chatting it up all day long. So, in between our consulting calls, in between that, you'll have me being able to be there and support you along the journey. And then, if you pay in full, you also get lesson plan feedback. So, I want to share with you, Charlotte. You might have seen recently. She came on my channel and she shared her own story. I was so excited to meet her in person. And if you're watching this, girl, hey, hey, girl. But actually got to meet her in person. But her journey was spectacular. She said that her daughter's starting to read predictable text and modeling was one of her biggest wins. She literally went from struggling, not knowing what to do. She started in the middle of I won't even say the word, in the middle of the last 2 years that we all experienced. And she started to see how far behind her daughter was. Her daughter's teacher had told her that her daughter was behind, just like I had experience. So we were able to relate with that. But unlike me, she didn't have the educational background. She didn't have any teaching experience. She's actually a lawyer. She's a full-time lawyer. She was like, I didn't know what to do to help my daughter. She had a big age gap between her first child and her second child. And she didn't know what to do. Preschool was virtual, and her daughter needed a lot more than just school. I shared earlier the statistic of children that start kindergarten off years behind. They don't catch up. They don't catch up unless you take major action. So she took the major action. We started working together. We started doing the one-on-one calls, and her daughter literally transformed, like completely transformed. Not only did she start off in the 18th percentile, meaning her daughter was only higher than 18% of other children her age. So she was 3 and 6 months when she took this assessment the first time back in 2020. And in the 18th percentile, within 6 months, she was able to literally double her daughter's percentile, closing that gap. Because once you start the momentum, they'll keep going. And I was so proud of her. So another client that I worked with was Shamika. Maybe you're like her. She was also a working preschool mom. So she worked full time, just like Charlotte did that I just explained. And with her daughter, she was just trying to struggling with working from home and giving her daughter what she needed. So her daughter just wasn't motivated. She just had a daughter that just didn't care. And for her, she had to figure out what motivated her daughter. And just in module 1, she found She found massive results in only 10 days of working with me, you guys. Like, it was phenomenal. I was like, wait, that quick? That was great. But literally just in 10 days, her daughter and her entire experience changed because she realized that the key for her was the weekly schedule. So I shared the module one is all about unblocking major roadblocks. Once we took away the major roadblock of when to teach, and she had a system and a schedule, I literally created her perfect ideal schedule, something that worked with her needs, because she felt like what most of us feel like, especially if you're a mom and you're a wife and you have to work full time. There's so many things. So with her, once we created that IDA schedule and she was able to be consistent with it for 10 days, y'all, 10 days, 2 weeks. It was literally within 2 weeks. She started seeing her daughter completely change, wanted to learn, was excited about it, started building up the momentum. And then she started seeing the results in story time and comprehension with her daughter. So that was her claim to fame. Or maybe you are like, maybe you are like Tangela. She just recently graduated from Teaching by Design. I'm so proud of her. So proud of her. But maybe you're like Tangela. And with her, she didn't have any teaching background. She always wanted to teach and homeschool her child. She's had multiple children, and she had her son she just wanted to do something different with him. So she actually wanted to do full-time homeschooling. So she was a full-time, well, not was, she is a full-time homeschooling mom. She stated that Teaching by Design was the best decision she had ever made. She literally found ways to get her son to fall in love with learning. He now enjoys story time, math. I showed her the apps because one part in the program we talk about when we talk about independent activities, I share different free apps that you can literally download and implement with children. And she felt lost and confused before. She was trying to juggle what to do. She did not have a roadmap. There was no guide. She just was winging it, so to speak, but literally winging it. And afterwards, after having that map, having something to follow, having a scope and sequence, or if you don't know what scope and sequence is, that's basically having a week by week guidance of this is what you're teaching week one, this is what you teach week two, this is what you teach week three. Having that, name that given to her, she was able to gain the confidence, and seeing her personal development just overwhelmed my heart. So I love just seeing, not only does this help build the confidence with children, but it also builds the confidence with you. Or maybe you want to be like Chelsea. She was a, not was, I don't know why I keep saying was, she is a teacher and a parent. But with her, she was terrified of teaching reading. So her biggest win was watching reading run on autopilot. One of the things I told you about having a system being stress free is learning how to make things kind of run on autopilot. So not only do you have a plug and play teaching system, but you also, within the course, I teach you how to have things kind of run on autopilot, and creating a bank of activities and a bank of lessons. Well, from her, it was just creating a bank of literally reading techniques, that allowed her to not only teach reading, but she received a level 4 in her evaluation. So that was the highest, evaluation from her administrators. And she received the highest reading scores in fourth grade. So that was her big win. Or maybe you're like Naima. Naima is was on. Yeah, I said is. I said is that time. Is a homeschool preschool parent. Now her son, he was super active. I mean, super active at the beginning. She just did not know how to even calm him down to want to learn. When she started working with me, she was like, he's not gonna do this. He just doesn't want to sit still. He was very active. But her biggest moment was when he started taking that same active energy and transforming it into those engaging activities. And she started watching him focus on activities. And that's when she was like, oh, this works. This works. You got him to want to learn how to sit here and learn. So that was her big one. And I want to share one more, just one more. Maybe you're like Janice. Maybe you're like Janice. She is a kindergarten through fifth grade special needs teacher. She teaches literally 6 grade levels. And for her, it was really, she was struggling with not having enough time to really meet all of her children's needs. She wanted to be that teacher, she wanted to make a difference, but there's only so much one person can do when every single child has their own needs and every single child needs different things. For her, her big win was having the new schedule and the bank of ready-made activities. She said that having the activities and the motivating tools and things was a game changer for her. She was able to implement the activities that kept her children going. So I share all of their testimonies to tell you, if they can do it, I shared my testimony. If I can do it, then you can do it too. Right now, doors are open to Teaching by Design. The early bird pricing is only good till tomorrow. And then after that, it will be regular price, but you'll still get some of the not some, but you'll get the bonuses. You get the bonuses. And today I have a huge announcement. Are y'all ready for this? Because I'm kind of ready. Okay, so if you do the course with the one-on-one consulting, I want to throw in my ultimate learning bundle. So if you don't know and you've been watching my videos, maybe you haven't been, let me just share with you what the ultimate learning bundle is. So the ultimate learning bundle is pretty much game changing. You have the learning board, the learning binder, you have interactive learning games, you have flashcards, you have activities, coloring sheets, posters, everything you need to teach a 3-year-old through a 7-year-old, to teach them reading and math, their numbers, their alphabets, their letters, all of that good stuff. I am throwing in my ultimate, not just the interactive, my ultimate learning bundle that is literally worth over $150. I'm throwing it in if you get Teaching by Design with the one-on-one consulting within the next 24 hours. So make sure you act now. I can't wait to work with you. If you have any questions, let me know. The link to go is down below in the description, or you can just visit www.everythingaja.com/join. I'm also going to put it in the chat box, www.everythingaja.com/join. And you will see all the great testimonials. You'll see all of the great bonuses, everything that's included. And like I stated, it's not on the page. I'm doing this now off the top of my head. I'm throwing in my ultimate learning bundle if you buy by tomorrow. So early bird pricing goes up off tomorrow, and the ultimate learning bundle only with the one-on-one consulting and the course I'm throwing in if you get it by tomorrow. So I can't wait to welcome you into the program and to be able to share your success story, just like I have shared the success story of so many clients. So it doesn't matter if you're a working mom, if you're a homeschool full-time mom, or if you're a teacher, this program is for you. Go ahead, get organized, get less stress, have a bank of interactive learning games in order for you to close that gap. The gap is growing every single day that you're not making a difference. So let today be the day. Let today be the day. Let today be the day that you make a difference that will shape the future of so many children or your child in the future. And I'm always here. Feel free. If you have any questions, reach out. My email is hello@everythingaja.com. I'll say that one more time. Email is hello@everythingaja.com. Let me go ahead and display that on the screen. So this is my email, the website, everythingaja.com, and my Instagram. You can also DM me. You can also message me on here. I answer all my comments. And so I can't wait to welcome you in Teaching by Design. Remember, you only have until tomorrow to get the Ultimate Learning Bundle thrown in there. And early bird pricing also goes off tomorrow. So if you want to save some coins, with the early bird pricing, If you do the course just by itself, the course by itself is phenomenal. If you do that, you get to save 40% off if you buy by tomorrow. And if you do the course with the consulting, then you get to save $150. So I can't wait to welcome you into the program. I'll see you in Teaching by Design. Don't forget www.everythingaja.com/join. See you in the program.